Elon Musk sends Bitcoin prices soaring as the populist revolt against Robinhood storms Wall Street. In this video, we're going to take a look at Elon Musk's latest embracing of the growing populist movement, how that movement is now turning its ire against the market manipulators on Wall Street, and how the latest market volatility is but the latest example of a growing populist uprising like we've never seen before. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you as always. We're here to give you conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent times by helping you think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Also, for you Rumble fans out there, make sure to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on the link below there. And for you podcast fans, we are now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary. So make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms. Before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video. Keep our lights on here, and that's the makers of the Cold Killer Heater. It is an amazing device. It works in even the coldest corners of my home where it seems impossible to warm up. It's my very own furnace at my fingertips. I can move it virtually anywhere I want, my desktop, countertop, patio, any other flat surface that needs heat. Order the Cold Killer today and take advantage of up to 50% off for first-time buyers. Visit thecoldkiller.com. That's thecoldkiller.com, or click on that link in the description below and stay warm this winter season today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. Elon Musk continues to show off his populist bona fides. The ultra-billionaire who recently became the world's richest man with a net worth of over $185 billion added a simple little hashtag to his Twitter bio, hashtag Bitcoin. And then he tweeted out a rather cryptic observation. In retrospect, it was inevitable. He sounds like a modern day sage. Well, that one act, that simple addition of hashtag Bitcoin to his Twitter bio and the cryptic tweet, caused Bitcoin to skyrocket 20% in market value. According to CNBC, the digital currency climbed suddenly at around 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time, adding $5,000 to the space of an hour to the trade at $37,300. As of 6:55 a.m., it was trading almost 18% higher in the last 24 hours at $36,900. In fact, Musk's move ended up pushing various crypto-linked stocks sharply higher as well, such as Marathon Patent, Bit Digital, eBang, Riot Blockchain. Now, obviously, this move added to the wild market volatility the last couple of days surrounding the stock price of GameStop, which hedge funds were fixed on destroying by shorting the stock of GameStop. But they were thwarted by a surge of amateur investors driving the price of the stock up. We did a video yesterday on the Reddit community that banded together to punish Wall Street hedge funds who were actively attempting to devalue GameStop shares. Just as Wall Street traders were attempting to artificially deflate the stock of GameStop for their own benefit, which is called short selling, so these amateur investors were attempting to inflate the price of the stock. But then, as many of you know, the Lords of Wall Street clamped down on these amateur investors and basically said, no, you can't do that. And of course, at the center of the controversy here is an app that stood at the center of the market volatility, and that app's called Robinhood. Robinhood is an app that allowed these amateur traders to buy up shares of GameStop, which in turn pummeled Wall Street hedge funds, made them lose billions upon billions of dollars. However, it didn't take long for this Robinhood app to completely contradict its namesake. You know, robbing from the rich and giving to the poor and the like. The execs over at Robinhood, once they realized what was happening, you know, the plebes were effectively storming the villas of the patricians. These execs turned around and slapped restrictions on the GameStop trading, deliberately preventing these users from closing out their positions or buying shares. So if you bought into GameStop stocks during this period of volatility, you got locked in. As I understand it, you couldn't sell your shares, which of course is nothing less than changing the rules after the game begins. I mean, you want to talk about cronyism. I mean, this is the epitome of crony capitalism, changing the rules of the game always to the advantage of the powerful and the elite at the expense, literally, at the expense of the ordinary person or amateur investor. Now, the execs at Robinhood would say that they were simply reacting to a lawsuit that got filed against them, a class action lawsuit filed in New York against the app to get them to stop these amateurs coming in and costing the hedge funds billions, which of course is disgusting, right? We, the hedge funds, are allowed to devalue stock, but you amateurs are not allowed to add value to the stock. But I think in the end, it's all too little too late. The populist genie, the genie that stands condemning Wall Street market manipulation, is out of the bottle. When all the dust cleared from the volatility, the hedge fund Melvin Capital, which, keep in mind, sought to kill GameStop's share value, deliberately profiting off of what they bet would be GameStop's losses. Because of the actions of this army of amateur investors, Melvin Capital ended up losing $13 billion. And a number of other investors lost billions as well. As such, these amateur investors are claiming victory and pushing back against crony capitalist market manipulators, beating them at their own game. And Elon Musk, as well as a diverse group of people like Ted Cruz on the one side and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the other, have all weighed in unanimously denouncing Wall Street and Robinhood for changing the rules of the game once they realized that they were losing to this amateur uprising. Ocasio-Cortez tweeted out, "This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about @Robinhood app's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit." Ted Cruz quoted the tweet and added that he, quote, fully agrees. Dave Portnoy, the founder of Barstool Sports, noticed and indeed celebrated the bipartisanship of Republicans and Democrats coming together to fight back against Robinhood and hedge funds. Prison time, he wrote. Dems and Republicans haven't agreed on one issue till this. That's how blatant, illegal, unfathomable today's events are. And we're seeing this new bipartisan coalition, as it were, turn up to protest against Wall Street today. The protesters gathered this morning outside of the stock exchange building, chanting out shame and eat the rich, and they held up signs spelling out tax Wall Street trades and chanted, "We want a truly free market." And of course, F Robinhood, and Robinhood has got to go, were among the chants. This is obviously a very fascinating development here because it's transcending the old Republican versus Democrat divide. Both Republicans and Democrats, as well as independents, are outraged by the way the globalist financial establishment is allowed to manipulate markets, but turns around and penalizes amateurs for doing precisely the same thing. So obviously people are livid. But like we talked about yesterday, we're seeing a populist revolt that's bringing together Democrat and Republican like never before. Before we get into that, I'm so excited to announce that we do have a brand new alt-tech directory guide called the New Conservative Survival Guide to Big Tech Censorship, which you can get absolutely free by clicking on the link below as an ebook download. This is a guide that's going to give you all the alternative social media sites that you can go to that have all of your favorite independent content creators, but of course, without any of the censorship that we've been exposed to by big tech. It's also going to give you your insights into what scholars are calling an emerging post-Google age. It's absolutely free as an ebook download, and it's yours by simply clicking on the link below. So don't let big tech censors get in the way of your favorite content creators. Click on that link below and enjoy your survival guide to big tech censorship today. All right, so one of the major themes on this channel since November 3rd is that the worldwide populist revolt is just beginning. And here we're seeing a perfect example of the populist explosion as blowback against the establishment Wall Street elites, who are the financial extension of our permanent political class. And this has been going on for some time now. Back in 2010, the pollsters Scott Rasmussen and Doug Schoen, a Republican and a Democrat, published their book on the data that they found that on the Tea Party movement, and it was entitled Mad as Hell. It's a very good read. It's on our readers list for one of the months here in our Insiders Club. And there they presented substantial data that showed that a major paradigm shift was taking place among the American electorate, one where the old political divides between left versus right or liberal versus conservative were dying away, And a new political divide was rising, a divide between the political class versus the people, the rulers versus the ruled, or the oligarchs versus the ordinary American. That was followed up by a 2018 study where the British political scholars Roger Eatwell and Matthew Goodwin came to the same conclusions with regard to the Brexit referendum as well as the Trump campaign in 2016. They too found that the old ideological divisions of capitalist versus communist and the Cold War divisions, right versus left, Republican versus Democrat, those ideological divisions had collapsed. And a new division of identity had emerged concerning nation, culture, custom, and tradition. What was so fascinating is that these concerns were manifesting themselves in terms of a new political division. A division between, you guessed it, the people versus the political class, the ruled versus the rulers. And so what we're seeing more and more is that people who say back in the 1990s would have been on the left side of the aisle, right? People who would have been Democrats, either because they were distrustful of Wall Street or because they were gay or feminist or whatever. And people who would have been Republicans back in the 1990s because they're all for free markets and capitalism. They affirmed the importance of faith and family. We're finding more and more that these two groups are beginning to side with one another through the new paradigm of populism. Populism transcends traditional partisan divides and opens up new political horizons and possibilities. Here on this channel, I've had very sympathetic press from far-left populist sites who find solidarity with my critique of the globalist elite. So while, of course, differences in worldview are going to have to eventually get worked out, nevertheless, the promise of new and powerfully dynamic coalitions forming right before our very eyes is very, very exciting indeed. So again, like we said in yesterday's video, things are certainly distressing for sure, but take heart. The worldwide populist revolt is just beginning, and it's going to be bigger than we ever imagined. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And you'll definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it. It was our live stream yesterday on the bombshell report that New York Governor Cuomo undercounted nursing home deaths by 50%. And now his political career is effectively dead. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.